Hey guys, what's up? perrydew07 here, and welcome to my newest episode of This Week in perrydew07 Sports Room. Got some F1 and got some NFL action. Oh, and of course we got some and a tiny bit of college football. Yep. So I'm just gonna get to the F1 thing real quick because there's a championship race that have been decided, and and although you had I'm gonna do with the race result first. Max Verstappen takes home his eighth win in the season. Oscar Piastri second. Lando Norris third. Charles Leclerc fourth, and George Russell fifth. Now Lando, considering the fact that he finished third, because the difference between first place and third place is 10 points. Max Verstappen trailed by only 12 points going into Abu Dhabi. So by virtue of a third place finish, Lando Norris ends up winning the 2025 Formula One Drivers' World Championship. And that was his first one yet, ending Verstappen's reign of four straight. So, so congratulations to Lando Norris for winning his, for winning the championship. So, he should be proud of that. So, and then lastly, college football. College football, of course, there is a college football committee that just released their playoff ranking, and the playoff games that are now set. And of course, some certain teams got left out, some certain teams that, you know, anyway, somehow lucked their way in. So I was gonna go anyway. Indiana beat Ohio State in the Big Ten title game, which primarily the reason why they're the number one ranked team. Excuse me, excuse me. Anyway, I'm just gonna go through some of the nobles. Georgia beats Alabama for the SEC. Texas Tech beat BYU for the Big 12. And even though Duke won the ACC, but the fact that they lost 5 games, they're nowhere near playoff conversation. There is, however, one ACC team that's in the playoff, and now it'll be Miami when they jumped over Notre Dame because they beat Notre Dame at the start of the college football season. So, and then we add Tulane and James Madison into the playoff thing, even though they're not in the Power Four conference. So, anyways, and but the fact that Notre Dame got left out, that obviously that had some people talking, and Notre Dame, by the fact that they got snubbed, they chose to pull out of the postseason entirely. So, well, that's what happens when don't get their way. Guess what? They pull themselves out. Then nah, forget it. We're we didn't get our way. So guess what? We're taking our ball and going home. So, I mean, look, I mean, look, look. I get the fact that they're mad and they're frustrated, but the fact that they chose to withdraw, no. That means you're taking away the seniors' last opportunity to play another game for you, but yet you chose to, nah, 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 screw yeah, nope. I think Notre Dame got some much deserved blowback for that, and rightfully so. So, anyways, so anyway, so anyway, now on to the NFL stuff. Anyway, Week 14 just took place. We'll start with a Thursday night game. Of course, the Lions beat the Cowboys 44-30, and then on to the Sunday games. We have Steelers beat the Ravens 27-22. We have the Jaguars beat the Colts 36-19, and we have the Saints surprisingly beat the Buccaneers 24-20, and we have the Dolphins beat the Jets 34-10. And we have the Vikings from getting shut out the previous week to shutting out their opponent the following week against the Commanders 31-0. Then we have the Titans beat the Browns 31-29. The best game of the week, however, in my opinion, was the Bills-Bengals in the snow in Buffalo, with the Bills winning 39-34. And we have the Seahawks beat the Falcons 37-9. Then on to the later games, which are 4 o'clock or later games. We have the Broncos beat the Raiders and dominate, even though the score, even though the even though the even though the final score, I think the final score of that game is a bit misleading in my opinion because the Broncos for the most part dominated the game. Anyway, 24-17 Broncos beat the Raiders. Now on to the Rams beat the Cardinals 45-17, and we had but and of course Packers beat the Bears in the NFC North showdown 28-21. Then the Sunday night game, Texans beat the Chiefs 20-10. That one right there eliminated the Chiefs from AFC West. Um, Eliminated them from the AFC West division race. So even though they're technically not eliminated from the playoff race, although they're sort of they're sort of dangerously close to it. And then last week, the Monday night game, which is last night, Chargers beat the Eagles, although it took overtime to do it, 22-19. So, and lastly, previewing Week 15, which, by the way, no more bye weeks, which, by the way, Panthers, Giants, Patriots, and 49ers, this is their bye week. This is the Week 14 bye week. Well, although from Week 15 onwards, there's no more bye weeks. Good. Hallelujah. Anyway, now on to the Thursday game. Falcons travel to Tampa to take on the Buccaneers. And then we have the Sunday games. Actually, the Saturday games. Wait a minute. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Are there some Saturday games this week? I think so, but assuming that it's not, I'm just going to go over the rest. Cardinals travel to Houston to take on the Texans. We have the Jets travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. And we have the Raiders travel to Philly to take on the Eagles. And then we have the Commanders travel to New York to take on the Giants. Well, technically it's East Rutherford. Take on the Giants. And we have the Bills travel up to Foxborough to take on the Patriots. Then we have the Chargers travel to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Ravens travel to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Trying to get their revenge from the Thanksgiving night disaster. Anyway, Browns travel to Chicago to take on the Bears. Then we have the Colts travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks, which, by the way, they just signed Phillip Rivers onto their practice squad. Although, is he going to play any for them? We don't know, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Anyway, Titans travel to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. Then we have the Panthers travel to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Then we have the Lions travel to LA to take on the Rams. We have the Packers travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. And we have the Vikings travel to Dallas for a Sunday night showdown against the Cowboys. And then the Monday game, we have the Dolphins travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Yeah, the AFC North leading Steelers. So, anyways, thank you all for watching. Oyos, peace, God bless, and enjoy the rest of the week, everyone.